I ask consent that further proceedings on the quorum will all be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Later today, the Senate will vote to begin consideration of this year's National Defense Authorization Act. The NDAA is our most significant opportunity to set priorities for competition with adversaries like China and Russia. It's our chance to keep the Biden administration focused on critical missions like rebuilding America's defense industrial base instead of the woke partisan agenda of political appointees. It's our time to lay the groundwork for robust investments in hard power. For 62 straight years, from the thick of the Cold War through the global war on terror, the Senate has used the NDAA to match tailored solutions to evolving national security challenges. This year is no different. Ranking Member Wicker, Chairman Reid, and our colleagues on the Armed Services Committee considered 445 amendments and adopted 286 of them. Here on the floor, the full Senate should do the same. Senate Republicans are committed to exceeding the President's woefully inadequate defense budget request and delivering the resources our armed forces actually require. So I expect the Democrat leader to allow thorough consideration of a range of important amendments as we begin that work with the NDAA. First and foremost, I'd like to remind all of our colleagues that the number one piece of business on the Senate's agenda is actually already overdue. So it's especially important that we begin this process without further delay. On a related matter, the sooner we pass the NDAA, the sooner we can deliver on full-year appropriations for defense in each of the other areas Senator Collins, Senator Murray, and our colleagues are working to finish in committee. I'm grateful for our colleagues' commitment to a regular order appropriations process. Funding the government on schedule means fulfilling one of the Senate's most basic responsibilities. But just as important as the must-pass measures that are kept in are the radical ideas that are actually kept out. Here's an example. Last week, the Appropriations Committee adopted an amendment to prevent unelected administration bureaucrats from banning the use of affordable and efficient gas appliances in American homes and small businesses. The Biden Energy Department's proposed rule regulating gas stoves into extinction is just one of the many ways Washington Democrats want to let elite coastal liberals impose their preferences on all 50 states and spend truckloads of taxpayer dollars accordingly. DOE's latest rule would effectively ban 96% of the gas stoves currently in use in America, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission has begun work on a potential gas stove ban of their own. Unelected bureaucrats are preparing to pounce, and working families and small businesses across the country are rightly worried. One hospitality industry expert in West Virginia called the cost of switching a kitchen to electric from cheaper and more efficient gas is, quote, a multi-thousand-dollar thing, a multi-thousand-dollar thing that would mean lower quality and longer wait times. Well, as with any number of other radical climate ideas, some of our Democrat colleagues don't seem to care about these real-world impacts. And in this case, some have been downright oblivious to the threat. Back in 2021, Senator Barrasso proposed an amendment to ensure that Democrats' radical climate regulations couldn't restrict the use of gas appliances. But the senior senator from West Virginia led the vote against the amendment in the Energy and National Resources Committee, and Senate Democrats blocked it to get on the floor for good measure. In response to Senator Barrasso's concerns on behalf of working families and small businesses, Senator Manchin said, quote, "I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening." Even as Senator Manchin authored the reckless taxing and spending spree that gave $840 special rebates for folks to swap their gas stoves for the electric ranges that activists prefer. Well, it appears our colleague has since changed his tune. This time around, he sponsored the amendment blocking the sort of radical regulation he couldn't imagine just 2 years ago. As our colleagues continue to make headway on the regular order appropriations, I'm glad this common sense measure has earned bipartisan support. But it really begs the question, wouldn't working families and small businesses be better off if Washington Democrats would just stand up to the radical climate regulations in the first place?